what if we're all, um, like the Word of God, the truth? What if we're all the stone that was rejected, and it's not just one person? Like, what if what God is talking about is a group of people, and it's not just one person? And the stone that's rejected, it's the truth. I mean, isn't the truth being rejected anyway? So, I seen your video, Lefty, about the stone being rejected and being Chris. I forget your names, but uh, you know, I just look at it like this: if anybody is anybody in this world, if anybody is a specific individual in this world, you don't have to say that you are. You don't have to imply that you are. You don't have to get frustrated because people don't believe that you are. Let them tell you that you are. There's coming a time where everybody's going to know who's who. Everybody's going to know who's who. The people behind the scenes, well, they already know who's who because they get the benefit of being able to surveil and just know. They know all of the liars. They know everybody who's telling the truth. They know what category you belong in. So when the change happens, there's going to be so many surprised people, including the ones that thought, absolutely thought, because they were promised, whatever. They were promised a great life. They were promised all kinds of goodies and everything, and you just have to wait until a specific time, and then you get your gifts and everything. So I just see that people are frustrated. And I understand, Lefty. I get frustrated too, because the ignorance of people, it makes you look forward to this total, absolute, complete destruction and to be tested. I'm ready for my heart to be tested. Is my heart going to fail from fear, or is it going to be the people that have doubted everything about, it's just always has been, always will be, it's just the way it is, it's always going to, you could say the same thing over and over again, it's all, everything's always going to happen. Well, yeah, I mean, I see that things have always happened. It's not like there's never been a tornado. It's not like there's never been a storm. It's not like there's never been floods and catastrophe. However, that's why I narrow it down to specifics. Yeah, we've seen it all before. But what is the Mr. Mouthpiece going to say? What is Paul Begley going to say on his channel in between specific dates? What is he going to say? Well, he's going to say everything I thought he would say. His channel. Because what I do is I narrow it down to a specific individual. And then I pounce on that person until I get all the truth out of him. So when he talks about the fires that are happening in Israel, and I'm seeing fires beforehand, and it's all within the 21-day period. Now, I can understand if nothing happened at all, and it's like I'm just grasping for straws. Yeah, then it's like, all right, well, I guess I'm kind of wasting my time. But don't you know that, yesterday, I was actually kind of hoping that he just wouldn't say something that I thought that he would say. And then he starts talking about this lightning that supposedly hit like this rocket, and then the rocket hit. I'm just like, all right, well. And then with the aliens, there's so many things that are being said, and I remember, oh wow, yeah, I remember saying that because it makes sense that that's going to happen within these 10 days. Well, I mean, I'm saying within the next 21 days. It's only day 9, and the only thing that didn't take place is the tsunami and a hurricane. I haven't heard about the name of a hurricane yet, but tornadoes is taking that spot, and a tsunami didn't happen yet. But I'll be damned, didn't everything else happen? Didn't everything take place on his channel? And then even with Dabu 07 or 007 or 0077, something like that. The famine, the animals being slaughtered, which is going to cause a famine, so that the pestilence. Earthquake, thinking it's 8.8, it's at 8.0, it's in Peru. The hail, I mean, it's Mr. Mouthpiece showed us the hail right out back of his house, because it's like they told him, all right, we're gonna make it come within the next 2 minutes. Get out there. And then and he's explaining to you how wind can be made and manufactured, and rain and lightning. And then he's saying, like, where is this all coming from? Everything is planned perfectly, and these are the devil's prophets. I mean, they are. They're going to actually help people turn their heart back to God through the fear, because that's the whole point. God's testing everybody, and Satan's tempting everybody. And when you know that you're being tempted, well, you don't fall into the hour of temptation. When you know you're being tested, you're going to study for the test, and you're going to pass it. Meanwhile, everybody else that doesn't know, let them be. If they're evil, let them be evil. If they're righteous, let them be righteous still. You can't save everybody. You can't convince anybody who you are. Let them tell you. So that's the only thing that any kind of advice I have for you, Lefty, is, I mean, I know you got absolute a lot of spiritual understanding, some things that I don't even understand, and same thing with Steve. I mean, James, everybody has their own knowledge and wisdom from wherever you got it from, however it came about, but to put a specific title on yourself, just let them do it. Like, the time's coming where just because you can't see behind the scenes doesn't mean it's not happening. Like, just think about it with common sense. The surveillors, the watchers, there's the watchers and there's the Holy One. And the watchers are also represent, in my opinion, the ones that are watching everything, the ones that can see people behind, you know, like when the camera's turned off. Like when it's right in front of your face and it's turned off and you're not recording, but, or, you know, you're in your vehicle and they're watching you through the camera, through the TV there. I mean, is that so hard to believe? I don't really think so. So they kind of get to see who you really are behind scenes, and then whoever you say you are in front of the camera, they get to see that too. Now Steve is like the biggest spectacle of all, because I mean, you know, look, everybody can be king in heaven. The ones that are on earth right now being rejected like the stone that they are, and that's what it is. We're all being rejected. So, and then it becomes frustrating because you know what's going on, you can see it clearly, but there's still kind of, it's like this, the stuff that I do day in and day out, and I go back and find the things that I've said were going to happen and then prove that they did happen, and they are saying it in a specific time period, and each specific person is saying those things. It's not just a, well, I mean, earthquake's going to happen somewhere, and I think there's going to be some tornadoes somewhere also. Oh yeah, there's going to be floods here and there, you know. No, it's starting May 21st, 2019, for the next 21 days. It's going to be major, absolute, complete catastrophe all over the world. It's going to be the worst ever in the history of existence. Isn't that what it is? The floods are worse than ever before. Paul Begley is explaining it left and right. That the storms, the floods are the worst than over more than 1,000 years. It's like he's thrown in 1,000 years. Everything is at its worst possible ever. Just like the Super Bowl. I was halfway right on that one. The one before that was absolutely completely right, because the Eagles did come from behind in the third quarter, and Nicky Foles did win the game, and he was the MVP, just like predicted, because it's a script that I was reading in my head. And then the Super Bowl this time, well, I knew it was going to be a close game in the beginning because that's the script. I thought it was going to be a blowout type of like back and forth, but it was absolutely like no scoring. And I thought it would be the most points scored ever in the history of existence, but it was the least points scored ever in the history of existence. That's being hot or cold. It's like I'm understanding certain parts of it, but it's just the details are, this detail's over here, and you pull it over here, and you put the whole script together. So that's where all this comes from. And just freaking wait for it, all right, people? Just wait for it. Be patient, because it's hard to be patient. But the aliens are taking over. They're literally pushing us on the mainstream news media, which means it's getting ready to ramp up. When's the last time that they started talking about aliens invading us and seeing all these spacecrafts? And I mean, when's the last time that you heard it being ramped up the way it is? Never. That's when the last time. Never. So don't forget about the aliens, because we have to still be abducted. All these things are to happen starting May 21st of 2019. You know why? Because that's the time that the Antichrist truly does rise up. He's getting ready to get his crown. It's not the crown like, you know, like the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. It's the crown of the Antichrist. And then I seen remember the Pontius Pilate, and he lost his ring, and then when Steve shows Pontius Pilate, and then Robin Henry Tees, but then when he goes down to Pontius Pilate first, and he goes down at the bottom, and it says, "I am the Antichrist." I mean, that's how Steve talks. He shows you. That's what the book's all about. It's to show you that what he's trying to say here isn't true. It's, you know, it's irrelevant. And then what he's not saying about himself is what he's showing you, which is the truth. And that's how gematria works. That's how he works gematria. He types in things that are true about himself, and he says to everybody that it's a lie. And then all the lies that are in there, well, he tells you that it's the truth. So just let them exalt you. Like whoever you are out there, let them tell you. You don't need to tell anybody. Like it's I don't know, it's there's that Bible verse where, probably paraphrasing, but when you're in the synagogues or whatever, and you don't go and grab the top seat and exalt yourself up at the front. Let them tell you this is your seat. If you try to steal the seat, you're going to be humbled. So, but if you exalt yourself going down to the front row of seats and you weren't invited down there because it's representing that God didn't invite you to the front row, you're going to be humbled and taken back to the back row. But if you go and sit in the back row and you observe for a long period of time and you watch and see who really is who, like you look over and it's like, that guy's in my seat. I know he's in my seat. That's all right, God. God, you do know he's in my seat, right? And then God's like, yeah, he's in your seat. Just be patient. You'll get your seat. Don't worry about it. Don't jump over the rows and step on people to get to the seat that you know is yours, but you're getting ready to forcefully take it. It's not yours yet. Let God give you the seat. So yeah, I understand the frustration that comes with people just not believing who you are or what your purpose is, or that they don't understand you, because frankly, I don't understand you sometimes, Lefty, because I just don't understand the terminology. I don't understand the Crinkist. I don't understand astrology. I have no idea. I just know that the stars up in the sky here are light bulbs, and the sun is a light bulb. And the moon, I'm gonna say it's a combination. It's a combination of a holographic image, and then sometimes they actually float the ball around at night and get in it and just, party up there. Am I right, guys? I mean, the ones that fly that thing up there, and the clouds. Well, it's a mixture between that material that they spray, or it's just flat out images, or maybe some of them are real. I've questioned every single possible thing that happens in this world, and I just know that the stuff in the sky has, in all likelihood, it's been there for a long time. The sun, I'm not too sure about when they like switched that up. I just remember it being yellow as a kid. I mean, who knows how long? They could have freaking had this stuff from the beginning. Like God created the heavens and earth, meaning like the Lord Satan God. Who knows how long it's been since they created the stuff up in the sky? I mean, only they know. So I don't understand astrology at all. I don't know which star is what. I have no idea what the names are. I don't care what the names are. All I know is that it's fake. And the real stars in the real sky is up there. They just covered it up. How'd they cover it up? Well, they have technology that covered it up. And we're going to see that technology in full force. Even though we're seeing it day in and day out, I still believe that it's actually 8:10 p.m. at night and not 8:10 in the morning. Everything's turned upside down. That's the way it's supposed to be. Upside down. So we've been conditioned to see all this fakery. And who can tell what it is? Who can say what's up in the sky? unless you've been up there and you're part of the mass deception that you either created some of the technology, or you've installed some of the technology, or you were the foreman for having people install the technology, and you've overlooked these things, and you know what's going on. Like, in other words, I can sense truly that Paul Begley knows the ins and outs of the weather and how they make it. Like, he has a pretty good understanding, because he's been briefed on these things, and he's been shown the fakery. Just like James Deshawn knows damn well that it's not a second binary sun. It's our original sun that's going to appear. And once they park this one, they're not going to float this one around all the time, because there's a plan, there's a date, there's a time that they're going to pull the plug. And the plan was world domination with one religion, and everybody's going to worship that religion. That was the plan, and it still is the plan, and it will be the outcome, period. Because it will be world domination, just not by the evil side. AI will take over and dominate with the shot callers, who are the ones that were rejected, like the stone that was rejected. They are going to be the ones that call the shots. And so it's not just one specific individual, and that's why James wants to be King James. He wants to be Jeopardy James. I mean, he wants to be worshipped like he's God, when he's just a mouthpiece that Satan is using to try to instill fear in the people. And apparently he did a very good job, because Steve has a lot of people fearful still, the ones that won't say anything. However, it's like a magical potion that it's a spell. That's what these things are. They're spells. Can he instill fear into you without touching you, without doing anything, but just show you the authority that he has and the surveillance that he's in charge of? Can he put fear in your heart then? No, not my heart. And I know there's other people that are the same way. You just haven't said anything yet. So he's there to be worshipped as a king, as one individual. He wants people to basically just straight bow down to him. And the only thing I want for people to do is to stop lying. Stop lying. Stop exalting yourself. You're not the king. There is no king. It's a group effort. Like, for instance, how can my words possibly get known throughout the entire world unless if it wasn't from YouTube? Now, I couldn't just stand on the mountaintops and freaking scream. Who's going to hear me? So I need YouTube to get my message out. I needed to borrow space, in Steve's storefront before he knocks down the whole face of the storefront 12 feet back. That way all 12 tribes can be taken out. So I needed to rent that space for at least like a year exactly. And so I needed that. But Steve also needed technology to be able to do that. So, and that technology comes from the fallen angel. Fallen angels, well, they needed that technology to be able to control the people in the world, but they got the technology from their creator, which is God Almighty. So it all goes back to God. Everything is his from the gate. It's just In the meanwhile, it like branches off and people kind of pick this and take that and use this title here and take that over there. But you can't do anything by yourself. So when the end result comes and everybody is scared to death and everybody starts turning back to God because of the deception, well, it's because God created evil and he suck it on you. It's like, get him, evil, get him. So he sicks evil on you, and he will test you. And when he's sick and evil on you, Satan will tempt you, because it's the hour of temptation. So if you know better, you're gonna stay grounded, and you're just gonna stay patient and wait. So I can't wait, even though I have to, for this major absolute catastrophe. I want to see things just, you know, but what if it's real, Robin, huh? What if it's all real? And I thought it was all fake, but it's all real. And they're really dropping bombs, and they're really killing people, and tsunamis are really happening, and the floods are just wiping people away, and the storms are blowing people up. Well, how do I know? I don't. I just go by, well, life goes on. People have died all throughout the history of existence. We will all die eventually. Some will die sooner, some will die later. The ones that die sooner are better off because they don't have to live this life anymore. But then again, what if they're not better off? What if people die and then they just go right back to being another soul in another vessel again? Is that fair? It is what it is, ain't it? I mean, are you God? Can you create people? No, you can't literally create a human vessel, but you can create the vessel's life and what they do. You can dictate, if you're a control freak, what people do in the world, and sit back and get enjoyment out of controlling people's, like, creating their environment and how they live. So yeah, we are all creators in that sense. And then when you understand that your thoughts are the only things that will hold you back from anything, it's how you think. Like when I shut this thing off and I start thinking, I can think what people are going to say. I can think and worry about my the perception people have about me, what people have said over the years, right? And then I can allow that to dictate my mood, and then I can be like angry, salty, frustrated, and then I can lash out, and I can, you know, it's happened to me before because I've recognized that, oh wait, no wait, it's not even them. Those demons, the devils, prophets, some of them, they have their ways of throwing things out there, and then they try to get it to stick into your head. And if they can get that to stick into your head, then they move on. It's like the gang stalking. Once you know that it's there, and once they go overt, then they feel like they got you, right? Because you're gonna be like all over the place, and then it's like, well, you know what? It's not even as much as what it is. It's like World War II when it came to those fake balloon tanks. They had one tank over there, and then 200 others are just fake balloon tanks. So it's the illusion that there's people everywhere. Now, does gang stalking exist? Of course it does. It's still there. People here, but if you think everybody is, well, then they got you, and that's my whole point. Those are the demons that they transfer because now they're in your head. That's all. They're in your head. Zombies in your head. And you allow that to dictate your moves throughout the day, and it will stress you out and beat you down if you don't understand that it's a tactic. It's a tactic. Just like the ground boots here as gang stalking, and then cyber stalking. And Steve's in charge of all of it, and I know it. And so does quite a lot of other people, especially the watchers, the ones that know that he's been given this authority. And I just want you guys to know that his authority, the time is running out. It's dwindling down. Everybody can sense it and feel it. But he'll stay confident because he has to. It's just the way it is. He will stay confident all the way to the very end. And the only way that he doesn't prosper and succeed is when nobody comes to his help. So let's say everybody comes to his help and he continues on. Okay, well then I guess I'm wrong. I'll just live with the consequences, right? I'll just deal with living, with the rules of the Antichrist, and not take the mark of the beast, and then just, I guess, hunger, thirst to death, or whatever, or he just goes around killing people. But it all seems pretty ridiculous. Uh-oh. Look, see, this really is a flood. See, the winter is real. I mean, it does exist. I don't know. I mean, I've been talking now for a long time, like every day for a year and a half. And at this point, I kind of just want to take the phone and I just want to smash it and be done with it for now. I want to take a long vacation. I want to stop talking about what I think is going to happen, and then waiting for it, because it just gets tiring after a while, and I'm looking forward to it happening and then being done with speaking, and then going to the next transition, because this part here, this is the part where they're wearing out the camp of the saints, right? Because it's just like, you can see it clearly coming. It's like a flood is just absolutely, it's like right in your face, and you're just waiting for it. Like, all right, I see it. You see the flood? No, I don't see anything. It's always happened like this. It's like, all right, clown. Well, you'll see when it covers you. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm ready to move on to the next phase. We got 2 more days left. Please, God, shut us up. Thanks.